Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we are back at it again with another video, and this video is going to be a little bit unfortunate because it's going to focus on none other than Hiyuki and how Hiyuki got by Kuro Games. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, basically any person that pulled this character and was looking to, I don't know, gear her or build her a little bit on day one has likely experienced the exact phenomenon that I'm going to talk about with you today. And that is the fact that you could not grind for her, you could not farm for her, and you actually could not even level her up until you were a couple of hours into the story. And if I had to give you a precise, amount of time, it's about 2 hours and 30 minutes worth of story without skipping before you could even access any of her fucking materials. She is the most story-locked unit I've ever seen when it comes to progressing her levels to even unlock the new zone to get her stuff, and then of course farm for her Sonata set. Because, well, ladies and gentlemen, you just gotta go ahead and take a look at this, right? Go to Tacit Suppression over here, and then look at Solacia Landing, the new Tacit field, right? Where her new set is. It's in the Dimir Plains. It's in the Dimir Plains. And one thing these developers decided to do for some really odd fucking reason was make it so that you actually could not access her Tacit field even when you entered into Dimir Plains in the story. And I think the best way for me to demonstrate that for you is to just take a look at my VOD from yesterday where I ran into this exact issue. Get ready for this, and I'm gonna be real, you might get pissed off on my behalf. Barriers so that you can only go in one direction, and it's to complete the quest? Is this real life? What the fuck? What are they doing? This is after an hour and 30 minutes of story, by the way. This is after an hour and 30 minutes of story. You unlock the new zone and you're stuck. Wait, so they're just you can't even use the fucking flight feature that they just gave you? And you're just forced to do story. And the only way for you to actually get it done is to use this tech. I'll show it to you guys in a second. You gotta do this. Why would you do that? You gotta first click enable navigation and then click the fast travel after enabling navigation to the Tacit field. Fast travel, what do you mean? And then you do that. Oh, like this? So you gotta do the navigation and then fast travel, and it'll what the? And then you could explore. Okay, never mind. So you gotta turn on the navigation, then fast travel. Oh, okay. And then you can explore Dimir Plains as much as you want, and then just mosey your ass on over. All right, hey, fuck to that Tacit field. You basically have to abuse a bug after an hour and 30 minutes in the story, or complete a whole 2 hours and 30 minutes in the story. And you want to know when Dimir Plains kind of unlocks for real? Spoiler alert, if you click the weekly, if you don't want to see the spoiler of who the weekly boss is, well, don't fucking click this menu. You essentially have to go past the boss fight in the story to unlock the rest of Dimir Plains. And that's 2 hours and 30 fucking minutes into it. However, this boss is available in limited time access. You're able to farm the 4-cost Echo. You're able to farm these weekly boss mats, right? But you aren't able to farm the Tacit field, and you aren't able to pick up Hiyuki's flowers. At this point, Kuro Games, we need to start asking ourselves some serious questions over here. If it's this frustrating for a person who's caught up in the story to build Hiyuki, it's this much of a pain in the ass, how annoying do you think it is for somebody that's maybe, I don't know, on patch 2.6 or 2.7, and the most recent weekly boss they faced is Leviathan over here? Are you telling me that for you to build your Hiyuki, have access to the Tacit field, have access to the fucking flowers and all that shit, bro, I'm gonna need to do all of the story up until here? At this point, Kuro Games, you need to do this. Add early access to the Tacit fields and give players a better way than 15 flowers a week, because then you're going to tell them they need 4 weeks to build a character to get the flowers. I don't know. Like, give them, like just the ability to, like, zip on over to the zone, remove all the story content or something like that, and just let them collect some of the upgradables. I don't fucking know. But you need early access to the tacit field, and you need a better way to give out the flowers, because this shit is some of the most cooked stuff I've ever seen. How many players do you think are coming back from a long break and then decide to come back for her? How many players do you think are going to be very happy to find out they need to go catch up on 20 hours of story to level her up past 60, and then they have to access 20 plus hours of story or they can't build her? Brother, it is literally impossible. Like without the tacit fields, let's be real, you're not building the fucking unit. This tacit field literally cannot be accessed until you're basically done with the 3.3 quest, or you abused a bug an hour and 30 minutes into the 3.3 quest. Dude, this is insane. This doesn't make sense. And at this point, we need to send some serious feedback. Because in past versions, as long as you were somebody that was keeping up with the story, this wasn't that terrible. And the reason for that is simple. All of the other regions that we've had in the history of the game, right? Even like Lahai Roy, the Frostland Surface, right? Septimont, Raguna, all the different pieces of Raguna, right? They all unlock the new region within like 20 minutes of story max. Within like 25, 30 minutes of story max. You don't unlock the Dimir Plains until 2 hours and 2/3 of the quest is done. And so players are either incentivized to skip a fuck ton of the anniversary story content to go, I don't know, level up what they're looking forward to in the patch, the character, and then God forbid you're somebody that needs to catch up on Sagrika's story, or Luke's story, or even 3.1. What do you think you're doing to get to Hiyuki's area? Skip, 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 and skip. Everyone is just bum rushing, skipping all of the story that you've put work into because you've made it impossible to build the character without doing the story. And this is something that we talked about over and over and over again on the channel. This is something that we said we've continually had concerns for. And instead of making it better, you dialed it up to 15 and made it the worst iteration we've ever seen in the history of the game. That's terrible. That's rough. And it sucks so much to have this for a unit that's so highly anticipated. And it sucks so much to have it on the anniversary, when this is, by all means, an amazing patch. Why is UG crashing out over 2 hour stories when the standard is 4? You think I'm crashing out over how long the story is? That's the only take you have from everything I've been saying. This is the unfortunate thing with these gacha games. You end up with players this retarded. This guy's been in here for 3 minutes, by the way, so he's heard the entire discussion. And they end up submitting feedback that everything is fine, when the point that we made was about story-locked progression and how it can diminish your enjoyment of the story to rush through it just to build your characters. And this guy's over here saying I'm saying the story's too long. New players are fucked so badly, it's ridiculous. And it's hilarious that even veteran day one players are also getting fucked by this too. I have never seen an update, I've never seen a character, I've never seen a region, and I've never seen a tacit field that managed to fuck every player in the game to some degree. I don't think anyone likes the implementation of what we've had going on over here. And the crazy thing is, even the Wuthering Waves subreddit, a place that's usually a brewing den for just toxic positivity where everything's good, they're complaining about this shit too. Nobody likes this. This is like doing some shit in like Fallout 4 where you like kick a baby in the teeth like 17 times and then like you just see in the corner everyone dislike that. I don't know a single person that likes the implementation of the story in this update, at least when it comes to character progression. Not a single one, because you got to go through the entire Hiyuki Seg quest. Then you got to go through an hour and 30 minutes of like an hour of story to unlock the region. Then the region itself is locked until an hour and 20 minutes later. What kind of retarded shit is this? You would have to assume it's being done on purpose, Because why would it get worse when Kuro's supposed to be this company, right? That's like listening all the time. Because there's so much stuff that they listen to in this update. There's so much stuff that's better than it was before. But to have stuff be this bad and have people literally intentionally grief the story playthrough just to like be able to build their units. Guys, there's a lot of people that came back to this game for the anniversary just for this unit, and they're gonna quit it once they realize what's ahead and the fact that they won't be able to build this character for any of the content unless they go through 30+ hours of story. There's gonna be a lot of people that do that. And the fact that there hasn't been more of like an immediate response, or the fact that this isn't even something that Kuro thought about on the anniversary, the time of the year where everybody comes back, it's a really dumb move on their end. And so I'm hoping that they address it. I'm hoping that they fix it. The hell? And I'm hoping that there is possibly even something like along the lines of compensation for it. Maybe that's something that they want to do, because this shit is, it's just insulting at this point. So yeah, let me know what you all thought about this. Just wanted to make a video to address it. Peace out.